Very recently, JoJo Siwa and James Charles did two collaboration videos. The first one popped up on James Charles's channel about doing a makeover for JoJo. We don't often see her with her hair down, and she addresses some of her own hair issues in this video. So I thought, as a hair loss sufferer myself, it could be interesting to talk about it with you guys. So if you're interested, stay tuned. My name is Helen. Welcome to the Shrimpy McGee channel. I'm going to make sure that there are some timestamps down below in the description box. I'm going to talk about this video and do it in 3 parts. The first one is just going to be a little bit about JoJo Siwa herself. Who is she? If you've never heard of her, and if you have, well, welcome. Maybe you can skip that part. The second part is going to be my reaction to, as a hair loss sufferer, to some of the things that she talks about, and we're going to take a little bit of a look at the James Charles video that she shot. And then the last thing I'm going to talk about is how to avoid some of these particular issues that we're going to discuss in this video. So that'll be the last part. So I hope you guys stay tuned through all of it. Let's get going. So first of all, JoJo Siwa is 17 years old, and I'm a grown woman. So if you're here to see me drag her on this video, this is not going to happen here. It's not going to happen in my space. So you can just move along and just pull the ripcord now and get out of this video. But I am going to be talking about her hair, and I debated on whether I should make this or not, but I feel like she's going to make a move in regard to her hair. So I wanted to sit down, and I just thought it would be kind of interesting to talk about it now, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to be right about this. And if she does do what I think she's going to do, which I will talk about in a bit, I promise, make sure that you like and subscribe so that when I do make that video, you don't miss it. JoJo Siwa is a really famous YouTuber. I never get shown her stuff in my particular algorithm, but I'm sure if you're younger, if you've got young kids in the house, her stuff probably does pop up. She is like a really child-friendly, family-friendly, right now unproblematic young lady who makes YouTube videos that, you know, she does like a lot of performance, and it very much caters to really young kids. I mean, kids who are just maybe getting out of diapers. I mean, really small kids. She's really known for this like completely snatched ponytail with a bow. She calls them JoJo's Bobos. She has all kinds of merch that is sold at Walmart. She talks about this in her James Charles video. She was also on the TV show Dance Moms, and I think a lot of people know her from there. And then she transitioned to being a YouTube star, but instead of sort of going in a sort of adult vibe, she sort of stuck to entertaining the really young kids. And she has like lots of glitter, lots of pink, rainbow colors, unicorns, all that kind of stuff. While I'm not exactly her target audience, I can totally appreciate why people like her. She's always very upbeat, and people drag her because she's loud. She's always really loud.
Someone put this video together
in all her videos, and for whatever reason that's off-putting to people, or people think she's fake and stuff like that. But I think she's a performer. She's an entertainer. This is her shtick. A lot of people hate children's entertainers because they have this kind of, when you're an adult, they have this over-the-topness. They have this consistent or silly or childlike over-the-topness that really rubs people the wrong way, but I think that hate is misdirected. Kids love her, and what else? Like, if you're a parent, as I am, sometimes you're just so grateful for that person who just entertains your kids in a safe way that's not gonna be gross or disturbing. Am I right? Especially on YouTube. I've got nothing bad to say about JoJo, only good things, and I just wish her all the success. Sounds like she's already very successful as it is. I think she's about to make a transition though, and we'll talk a bit more about that. I think that she might be done with the snatch pony, so let's get into that. JoJo now is actually starting to have a presence on TikTok, and that's interesting because that's a slightly older audience, I think. I would say that TikTok's audience, from what I can tell, tends to be 13 and up, and she seems to be doing really well. And actually that's where I've seen her most recently, because as I say, she doesn't pop up in my YouTube algorithm, but she did pop up for me on TikTok, which is somewhere I am on as well. You can find me under the same name as this channel. I do make content about hair care. She popped up there probably because of hair stuff, and wow, like it was kind of an eye-opener. I don't think many of us saw her with her hair down in quite a long time, right? So we're seeing her on TikTok, and I think that she's trying to awaken us, and she's trying to tell us something, and we need to be listening for the clues. And then she popped up on James Charles' video this week, so I did see the first part of that. I haven't seen the whole video, and we're gonna react to that together in a minute. I also know her originally, I think, from Brad Mondo's channel. I love Brad Mondo. He's an amazing YouTuber about hair care, and he always does reactions, but his reactions are so sweet. I love that about Brad Mondo. He's never mean. He's never really mean. He might kind of go there a bit like he does in this video about JoJo that's a couple years old now, but he never says anything bad. He says he loves her in the comments, and at the end he talks about that he really likes her and he appreciates what she does, and he's just He's got this really gentle, sweet persona. I'm sure that's his true self. Love Brad Mondo, so first learned about her there. Then she pops up on an Emma Chamberlain video. Do you guys remember this one? Where I think Emma Chamberlain makes JoJo into her for a day or something. I can't even remember exactly what happened, but they do their hair the same way. And a big part of JoJo's vibe is that like yanked back ponytail, right? Where she just pulls the hair so hard and you see her gather it and put her hair elastics in, and it is a look, it is a vibe, but I think we're starting to see her move away from that, and this is the beginning of it, so we're witnessing this all together. So we've talked about JoJo a little bit, and now we're gonna say who am I? Why am I making this video? I am a longtime hair loss sufferer. I had no hair 3 years ago, then I grew it back, and then I lost a bunch more, which is really detailed in this channel. I've talked about medicines that I've used. I've talked here about different shampoos that are good and not so good. So whether you have hair loss or not, you guys might want to check that out. I have one about mane and tail shampoo, which is a really popular shampoo for thickening your hair. So go ahead and watch that. I will just tell you though, if you have really dirty hair, it's probably good, but if you don't, it might not be the best shampoo. Watch that video if you like. I'll include a link. I also have other hair reaction videos. I haven't sat down to make a hair reaction video, but a while ago, I made this heartthrob hair reaction video, which was so much fun. There's this phenomenon among sort of the young guys that people are crushing on to have this particular hairstyle, which is kind of nicknamed heartthrob hair. I didn't coin this term, but I get into it here, and that was a really fun video to make, where I got to be my utterly ridiculous, 18-year-old self trapped in a grown woman's body. So check that one out. I will link it as well. And also, just if you guys would like and subscribe, that would not only support the channel, but if I make a follow-up video, because if JoJo does what I think she's gonna do, I will definitely make a follow-up video that you won't want to miss. So like, subscribe for that. So let's carry on. Okay, so let's watch some of James Charles' video together where she talks about it a little bit. I'm gonna look on my phone, but I'm gonna put it up here for you guys to look at as well. Here we go. She's so cute.
Hi, sisters!
All right, you guys.
She's so pretty without all that makeup on, huh? And with it too, but. So here's the TikTok that I was telling you guys about, where she, you see her for, I think the first time in a long time, with her hair completely down. And I think here is the point where she talks about her hair.
Oh yeah, take my hairline, make it really receding. It's so far back.
We're gonna put some good contour to really bring it forward.
And having a receding hairline. So that's what JoJo mentions here. That was kind of interesting. She mentions herself about having a receding hairline as James is doing her hair. So what is a receding hairline? A receding hairline means it's a type of hair loss, right? That means your hairline was thicker and now it's thinner. It's receding. So she is kind of admitting to a type of hair loss, but of course I'm not going to diagnose her, although other people have on the internet, and we will talk about that a little bit. But she's copying to a receding hairline, which is kind of interesting. They're really cute together. I feel like I could watch a whole series like this. What do you guys think? I think that just, even the combination of the blonde hair and the dark hair of James, like her blonde hair and James Charles's dark hair look really good together. They just super photogenic. I don't want to say they're a couple. Obviously they're not a couple, but a super like charismatic duo together. I feel like they should do more stuff, although I feel like that was probably not possible when James Charles was going through his whole feud with Tati. That was the whole messy thing, right? I actually have made a video about that as well too, so I will link that up. Okay, so that's fine. I mean, you guys, you can watch this yourselves, but I'm gonna, let's see the reveal. I actually have not watched full to the end to see the reveal, so let's have a look. I'm fast forwarding here to later on in the video. Okay, let's go. She's so pretty. I think James is an underrated actual makeup artist for other people. Some people are really amazing at doing their own faces, but we're not really sure how good they would do someone else's, and he's got the goods. I mean, she looks beautiful. They were kind of going for like a sort of glam-ish look. They said they didn't want to do an Instagram baddie look, but they kind of wanted to meet in the middle, and I think he totally nailed it. She looks so good here. Can you imagine though, if you saw her in real life, how much makeup this actually is? You guys have no idea. I have on quite a bit of makeup right now, and it probably looks like I'm not wearing a whole lot, but whew, I can't even imagine in real life how thick this would look. But anyway, okay guys, come on, let's get to the transition here. Okay. You guys, look how pretty she is with her hair down. Her hair is a beautiful, like golden honey weed color. So pretty, which I don't think we get the full vibe of that when it's like snatched back in that tight pony, right? It's looking so pretty here. But let's talk about her hairline. Let's have a look. It is kind of see-through, and I feel like, yeah, on that tighter shot you can definitely see that she's definitely pretty thin in through here, and hey, that's okay. Some people's hair is just thinner, and if you're blonde, it tends to be more see-through because you have more transparency in your hair, so the light penetrates it, and they're probably sitting in front of like full studio lighting, so it's really gonna show. We can talk about some of the ways you can treat this. Look, guys, I just want to tell you something. With her hair down, the sort of tension alopecia or traction alopecia, which is what people say JoJo has, at least Brad Mondo does, and you do see it in other places on the internet. It's much less visible when your hair is down, and I'm gonna show you guys actually something about my own hair, which is that if I were to, I like have my hair like this, and one of the reasons is if I were to pull it back like this, you guys see, like it would look like I too have traction alopecia, even though I never snatch my hair, I never pull my hair really tight back like this, but look, I would pretty much look the same way. It is kind of a part and parcel, especially pulling your hair to a side pony, because even if I went straight back like this, you wouldn't see it as much because of the direction of the hair, right? I could disguise it much better. But again, we'll talk a bit more about what you can do to hide that if that's what you want to do. And yeah, that's called tension or traction alopecia, where your hair loss comes because you're pulling it back and you're constantly pulling. And in her case, maybe even she brushes her hair back really, really hard, which is not great. If you watch some of my other videos, I always suggest brushing your hair almost like backwards, starting back here, working through it, and only ever brushing the top of your hair when you're sure there's no snags or tension and your hair's already silky smooth and brushed through. This goes, of course, for straighter hair and wavy-ish hair. If you have more wavy and more curly hair, you have a different hair brushing technique, but like I'm talking about JoJo Siwa type texture and my type texture, that's what I would suggest to do. But yeah, she looks so beautiful in this. She doesn't seem like she feels kind of like herself in this. It's kind of a little awkward and I like it. All right, and you notice her voice is a bit quieter too. Like when she took her ponytail, it was like you took away her vocal powers or something like that. It's a good video. I really like the two of them together here. Okay, so let's just move on to some of the things you can do if you're struggling with visible loss from wearing a really tight pony. Let's talk about that next. So the other thing I want to talk about is why I think JoJo Siwa is doing this. Why is she revealing her hair down, etc. and so forth? Why is she even mentioning the sort of receding hairline? And I think that, and I might be wrong, but I feel like I'm gonna be right, she's gonna transition her hairstyle, and I don't think she's gonna be wearing that ponytail all the time now. She is 17, she's probably feeling like adulthood is coming upon her, and she might just wanna tweak her look a little bit. She might even still wear a ponytail, but it'll be a softer one, and she might still wear that bow, but I feel like we will still see the bow. But I feel like what she's gonna do is she's not going to wear it in the ponytail. I think that it's gonna be headbands with bows on them, which is possibly a product that she already makes. She actually mentioned really interesting in this video that hair bows are not her best seller. So I feel like she's just giving us tiny little clues here and there about where she's going with her products and even her own look, and even just revealing to us on TikTok. I think that she is now making a strategic move. Right now, at the age of 17, it makes total sense for her to sort of transition and maybe have even two personas. There'll be the persona that performs, and that persona might have the ponytail with the bow, and then there might be a sort of softer look also as the JoJo Siwa persona, and she says it's not a persona, but like we know it is, where it's gonna be maybe headbands. So I think the headbands are gonna be her next look with bows on them. I could be wrong, but I feel like I'm gonna be right, or like stretchy headbands. And the reason for this, if you think about it from even a marketing perspective, not everybody can wear a bow in their hair. Your hair needs to be a certain length, but nearly everybody, even if you have really short pixie length hair, which I have had, you can wear a stretchy headband with a bow in it. You definitely can do that at any hair length, even with no hair, you can do that. And you can wear a headband with hair at almost every length, especially if it's like hairbands of different widths and stuff like that. So I feel like strongly, she probably already makes those products, but she'll probably even add to them. And I think you can charge a little bit more for those products as well. Like a stretchy headband is a higher price point than just a bunch of hair bows. And definitely a headband can be purchased at a higher price point than just, again, a bunch of hair bows. That's what I think she's gonna be doing. It's me again now, and editing a little bit later on. I forgot to mention that JoJo herself has been interviewed about her hair and her hairline lots of times, and even on Twitter there like already exists stuff where people have made like collage videos of her hair from before and after, and to me it looks like her hairline was always really far back, even as a little wee baby. Maybe it's gone back further and is more receding than it used to be, but we're talking about someone who has kind of like a high forehead. Notice that she never says high forehead, which is what I kind of think that she has. She says specifically like hairline and stuff like that, but she is aware of this. Like she is anyways, on James Charles's video, I want to make it clear that it wasn't the very first time that she'd ever mention it or talk about it. She talks in other articles where she's been interviewed about coming to accept her hairline, and I think that that is such a positive message, and I really admire her for that. So I don't at all want to make it seem like that's something that she's ever hidden or anything like that. She totally hasn't. She's very open about it. This is the first time that I've ever seen her specifically mention a receding hairline though. So anyhow, just thought I would chime in with that. Avoiding traction alopecia and tension alopecia. Listen, this is not something that I'm necessarily an expert at because I never had this particular type of hair loss, but the first time I learned about it was when I learned about it from my queen, the only English queen that I recognize, Naomi Campbell, supermodel and goddess. She suffered from traction or tension alopecia, as it is also called, but she wears a lot of alternative hair as well. So I'm not sure exactly where she is in her whole sort of hair regrowth journey, whether she's been able to recover from that. But this was like, this mean image of her was in the news not that long ago. I'm just gonna show it very quickly, but that's not the Naomi Campbell we know and love. We know her to be a perfect, flawless goddess, as we will see here.
Why?
I love Naomi Campbell. So that's the first time I learned about it, but the most basic thing about tension alopecia is just stop doing the thing that's creating the tension or the traction. So that means if you have really tight braids, you gotta stop doing that. If you're pulling your ponytail back too tight, and if you're constantly scratching with your brush, I would strongly say stop doing that. If you wanna wear a really tight ponytail, use your hands to get it as tight as you can then, and then maybe just then try and smooth it out. And most of us can smooth it out pretty good without scratching the heck out of our hair with a hairbrush or a hair comb. It can be done. And if you do use a brush, just be gentle. A Tangle Teaser's a really nice brush. If you guys haven't heard about that, go ahead and Google that, Tangle Teaser. But any brush will do. Just don't be so hard and pulling it. Even Brad Mondo says this, like, stop yanking so hard in his video about JoJo Siwa's hair. So that is my other tip. It's very basic. If you do have traction alopecia and you still want to wear your hair in a ponytail, nothing's stopping you. You shouldn't be embarrassed. Hair loss is very common. I don't want you guys to feel stigmatized at any age about this. There are things you can do to fill it in, so I'm gonna talk about that in just a second. So let's say you have that visible hair through here, or it's thin through here, and I talk about this a lot on my channel. I've made a lot of different videos about this, guys, so if you wanna get on those, just go ahead and have a look in my sort of playlist, navigate over to my different videos about this, and I'll add a playlist for you guys to look through as well. But I give lots of tips about doing this kind of stuff. So let's just say this was like super duper visible here, just like JoJo Siwa. It's a little harder for her because she has blonde hair. I have dark hair, so it makes it a little bit easier. The best kind of hair fiber, you need something called hair fibers. They work really well to disguise this particular issue that we're talking about. I would suggest getting one with a pump. This particular brand is discontinued, but I think Topic makes one with one of these squishy topped pumps, and they're actually worth it. I, for years, have been not using the kind that had this little pump. I've been using the kind that's just a shaker, and those are kind of messy. This can really target your area, and if you don't have money for this, that's fine. Just use an eyeshadow. You can even use like an eyeliner and blend it out with a spoolie. Like, there are lots of different ways, but I'm just gonna show you how effective using hair fibers is. I haven't used this in a while, so do you guys see? Check this out. Okay, I'm gonna target this area right here. Do you see that? Like, it darkens immediately, and that's kind of splotchy, but you could just sort of tap it through and it will diffuse more. And you see that? No more visible hair line. No more see-through to your scalp, right? Ta-da! See, that's all you need to do. And what this stuff is this fibers. You can see here, it's a tiny little bit of keratin fibers. They also make them in cotton. There's a brand called Kabuki, and I think, Kabuki? Anyway, suffice it to say, there are a bunch of different brands, but they are called hair fibers, and they're not that expensive. You can even get them at the drugstore. Okay, so that's pretty much all you need to do, and just stop being so harsh on your hair. Okay, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up there. I hope that was helpful. That's what I think about JoJo Siwa's hair situation as a fellow, I guess we could say, hair loss sufferer myself. Want to thank you all so much for watching here, and be sure to stay tuned for my next video by liking, subscribing, hitting that notification bell, and we will see you soon.